schools are going to start banning cell phones for students because they're finding out people aren't paying attention. They have their cell phone. They're just on their cell phone all day. Kids that are using their phones more in school are less likely to understand whatever subject it is.
I would text my cousin's husband, who was an engineer and smart in math, and I said, hey, I need help with this for my math test. And he just sent me the answers. Did I learn anything? No, but did I pass? Yeah. I was a cheater. I got C's and some B's. When we go out to a restaurant, I'm not putting an iPad in front of you. If you're going to start crying, mom or dad is going to take you outside and hold you and make you feel better. Oh, what's going on, everybody? You smell what the Rock is cooking?
Can you smell what the Rock,
a.k.a. what the Burn Down, Eric and Justin, is cooking? Welcome back to the Burn Down podcast. I'm Eric. This man over there is Justin. We are in the Burn Down studio. We're smoking blueprints. Or Justin smoking a blueprint. I'm smoking a Diligent.
Bang.
We're having another grand old time in the studio. We're just here to chop it up. Let's go back to our roots. We're just here to talk it out, spark it up, talk it out, and burn it down. We haven't used that statement in a long time. But
love it. If you're new to this channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. Be notified every single time we drop a new video. It's every single Friday. We got new videos popping out. Check out the Instagrams. I'm the Dapper Cigar, Brother Cigar. Okay. Got the new series out. Make Pars, Smoke Cigars. Got to drop that one. Okay. New golf series. If all you fellow golfers out there, you want to check that out, that's on my page. And check out the website. Okay. We got the blueprints out. We got the diligence out. We got a membership. It's only $5 a month. Become a member. Support the Burn Down Boys.
Yo.
We got discounts. So if you're a member, you get 15% off
to
the blueprint and the diligent. Okay. You get 15% off to our merchandise. Okay. And you get entered into monthly giveaways, okay? We give away all sorts of burn down merch, burn down cigars.
Do it.
But be sure to check that out. One of the topics. So this is going to be one of those shoot the shit episodes to see where this rolls, okay? I know a lot of people love these episodes.
What do you got? What do you got today?
I saw a thing. I wanted to see what I already know that you feel the same way I do.
Oh, do you now? Maybe I don't.
Already do.
Maybe
Okay.
I won't on purpose.
So I saw this thing where they were talking about you ever see on the news where they have these like studies show or researchers show, and it comes up and you're like, really? How much fucking money did you spend on that stupid research? Where they like, there was one that came out that said, studies show that drinking alcohol every single day is bad for your health. Experts say that it can decrease your lifespan by X. I go, really?
Or what about the one that says didn't they come out with a study eating a hot dog a day or eating a hot dog leads to better health or some shit like that?
Just stupid
studies.
There's one that came out that said, experts now say that sugar can cause developmental health in adolescents or in children, and especially under the age of 5. I'm like, really? Really? Sugar is bad for you?
Cigarettes are bad for your health.
Right? So they had one today, or yesterday, whenever. I don't know if it was like a study, but it came out, and the headline was that schools are going to start banning cell phones for students.
Schools are going to start banning cell phones for students.
So they're trying. Certain schools are coming out and saying that students are no longer allowed to have cell phones during class. That you have to put your cell phone in a cubby or a pouch when you come into class, and you're not allowed to have your cell phone on you because they're finding out people aren't paying attention. They have their cell phone. They're just on their cell phone all day. So they're trying to push where you come into class, you're not allowed your cell phone. Yeah. Cell phone goes in a sleeve in a little pouch, and when you leave class, you can get it. And you go to your next class, you have 3 minutes, whatever. Your next class, you put it back, you put it into another. So you can't be on your cell phone all day. And some of the parents, some of these woke parents, are saying like, no. What if I need to reach my kid? What if it's an emergency? I need to text my kid, which I understand you want to have all contact with your kids. But my argument with that is
that a woke thing?
I don't know if it's a woke thing, but my argument is, one, I believe that, okay, maybe in high school you have a cell phone, but in elementary school, you don't need a cell phone in elementary school. You don't need. I didn't have one in middle school. Like, Where are you going? You're going to school and home.
Yeah.
Okay? If you need to contact your kid, you call the school like every parent did when we were young.
Yeah, you get your name over the loudspeaker. Justin Heisig, please come to the principal's office.
You call this, like if you need an emergency, you call the school, hey, take my kid out of school. And then they call the classroom and say, Miss Heisig, can you go to or Justin, can you go to the principal's office? Your mother wants you. Mother called or something. Right? But now people are like, no. I want contact with my kid all the time.
I think that's just, no. I don't think it's that serious. I think they shouldn't be taken away, but they also should, like, parents shouldn't be so needy that their kids need their cell phone in school. Like you just said, I didn't get a cell phone until I was in 8th grade, so middle school, and I mean back then that was 2004, 2003, which was essentially a flip phone, so it wasn't what it is today. It was for calling, and that's it.
Yeah, I had a prepaid flip phone.
Yeah, and that's all it was. It was just
my mom had literally gave it to me and said, "This is for when you need to get picked up."
Yeah, your minutes.
That's it.
But like, to go in a tizzy, because I mean, I think the attention deficit is way less than it is today than it was when we were in school, right? I mean, we didn't have cell phones.
Your attention span?
Yeah. I mean, essentially, for the most part, we didn't have iPhones until like I was in. I think the first iPhone came out when I was a junior or a senior in high school. So for the most part, we didn't really have stuff that was taking away from our attention to class. Besides, if you're just not paying attention in general.
Besides the little homies that you use.
You're drawing on the floor. You're drawing on your paper. You're doing something else.
You remember the homies?
I never played with those little homies. You played with those things?
You had them, but like,
nah.
But no, but I agree with those schools. They're trying to limit the cell phone use because kids nowadays they're just on their phone all day long.
It should just be. Is the cubby like in the classroom, right?
Well, yeah, it's like you get in I saw one.
You walk in the class. And
the
you put your phone
example
in.
I saw was it was like it was this basically this like I don't know like it was like a blanket held like on the wall and there was these little pouches and each kid had a pouch like Justin, here's your pouch, and you would take your phone and you slide it in the pouch.
Yeah.
And then you go to sit down, and then when you're done, when you leave the class, you could take it out and then you have your phone again. I think that's totally reasonable.
I think that's totally reasonable.
I think it's a great idea.
I mean, because
they're saying that kids are not paying attention in class because they're on their phone.
Obviously, I mean I think that's a no-brainer,
right?
I think it's a no-brainer.
But they're getting backlash from it.
But why though? Like
that's what I'm saying.
You don't need to be texting your kid, "Mommy, Daddy, I love you, I miss you today."
Well, they're and it's like, and the backlash is that the parents are like, "Well, now I don't have access to my kid." I'm like, "What do you mean? Your kid's in school.
You know where your kid is.
He's in school. He's in class.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be on the phone, or she shouldn't be on the phone." Texting their friend that's sitting right next to them.
And guess
what?
Should
be paying attention. That's why your grades are going down.
The class is going to end at some point. They can get their phone back and check. And if they need you, they'll call you. But call the school, show up to the school, and ask for your kid. Just like, when we would go away on early vacation, my mom would come to the school and pick me up. "Eric, please come down to the administration office. Your mom is here." "All right, perfect. I'm going down. See you guys later."
You call the school.
There's
emergency. I need my kid out of class.
Your kid is already like glued to the phone outside of school, so they need.
And on top of it is okay. Let's say your kid has the phone in class, and it's emergency. You text your kid, "I need you to come out of school." You have to sign them out anyway.
Yeah.
They have to go to the principal's office. They can't
just get up and go.
They can't just leave. They have to be excused. You have to go to the principal's office and sign them out of school. So if you have to do that, you got to talk to the principal anyway. So call the principal and say, "Hey, I need my son." And they'll get your son, and then while you come there, the son will be and you pick him up.
Guess what? Majority, let's see, iPhones have been around for the last almost 20 years. All before that, people were okay with emergency situations. They call a school, they show up to a school, and people are okay. There's no reason why you need to be constantly knowing you have access. Like you said, if it's an emergency, your kid needs to get taken out of school, you got to call up the school anyway, or
got to sign them out.
And sign them out. They can't just go. They can't just leave the school. So the fact that whatever school this is getting backlash is stupid.
I wonder if there's because there's now I don't know if you can graph this, but I wonder what can they show at the rate of which the technology has increased with phones or the phone usage or phone availability for kids versus like their grades or their knowledge. Now, I don't know if it's apples to apples because they've changed like what they're teaching now, right? Like back in the 80s and 90s when we went, things that you taught, and there's certain ways now they have Common Core math, and there's stupid ways, right? So I don't know if it's like 1-to-1, but I would argue that kids that are using their phones more in school are less likely to understand whatever subject it is.
I'll put it this way. I didn't always pay attention in school. I always la land in school a lot of times. I was always practicing my signature, drawing pictures in my notebook, just goofing off to myself, on my desk, whatever was in front of me. The fact now that I have access to the whole world on my cell phone, and I could sit in the back row where my teacher really can't see what I'm doing and hide my phone and just do whatever.
They're scrolling all day long.
I can just do whatever I want, and there's no way that kid is learning anything.
Right, and that's my point. So I feel like it's a good move.
It's not even a good move. It's a no-brainer. You go to school.
You'd think that they would have thought of this years ago.
You go to school to pay attention and learn. You don't go to school just to,
I wonder what school. Let's see what schools it is. Schools banning cell phones. Let's see.
But like on the flip side of that, say there is an emergency, right?
This came out.
Say there is an emergency. For instance, like, knock on wood, say there's a school shooter. And now your kid has your cell phone. He's calling you and texting you, Mom, this is happening. Unfortunately, that parent can't do anything. I mean, I guess they could go into the school and, Rambo it and get their kid, but no one's doing that. 99.9% of the time, if that's the situation, there's going to be law enforcement. The school's going to be shut down. No one's going to be moving. You can't do anything. So having a cell phone and making a big deal that your kid doesn't have it during class isn't going to prevent or help any of that matter. Does that make sense?
No, I get you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm looking up the one of the articles. This is from CBS News. Schools across the U.S., this was from September 2nd, restrict cell phone use amid growing behavior, mental health, academics concerns. High school students who started school at Kansas City's Ewing Marion Kaufman School saw something new when they entered their classrooms, a cell phone lockbox. New policy requires all high school students to lock away their phones for the day. Students drop their mobiles into a box, which is designed for phones, and it's locked into after-school hours. The restrictions were instituted after a pilot study in 2023 with one 9th grade class showed those phone-free students had highest GPA across the school.
The ones who didn't have a phone?
So those phone-free students had the highest GPA. One administrator saw the academic achievements. There is certain pressure with phones, said Witten, I guess is the dean. Now they could go to school and just be students. They don't have to worry.
Well, again, it's a no-brainer.
It said, but it's not just about academics. Cell phone restrictions can also assist with social development and creating community at the school. Kim Whitman, a parent turned advocate, started advocating for no mobiles in school. She said their organization surveys schools across the country that report massive behavioral issues, including fights planned on social media and an increasingly anxious generation.
Yeah.
As Whitman said, if schools allow phones to be present, it's hard for students to connect and create a sense of belonging.
I agree with it all. That's another thing. Like, yeah, you can start. That's unfortunate. They said they plan fights on cell phones, but yeah, like fights that happened in high school, they just happened. Like you didn't like one kid and you saw him in the hallway and you punched him in the face, or whatever, and that was the fight. But now you can be like, yo, Justin, me and you are gonna meet over here. We're gonna go. I mean, granted, you could have done that the day before. Like you could have met your friend's house. Yo, this is what we're gonna do at school, but it's a different dynamic than being able to do it on a more frequent. Like you can only tell one person, then you have to tell someone else to do it, then they have to tell someone else to do it. You can't send out like with this. You can just send out a mass text. Yo, this is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna fight this kid or jump this kid or whatever. Yada yada yada. And now it's like a whole big argument on the phone.
Now I'm interested to see.
And granted, you could do that when you're at home. You could text all your friends. Yo, this is what we're gonna do. So it's kind of silly, to be honest with you.
Do you think ChatGPT can do it?
Do what?
I'm going to see if ChatGPT said, give me the percentage of kids that own a cell phone in America.
Under 14.
For each age, broken down to each age between 0 and 18.
Because, like, this is how I picture it, right? And when I was in high school, we had iPods. And that was a distraction because I would listen to music in school. And one thing I would do is I would listen to music in the hallway, which is an issue because you're not paying attention to what's going on in the hallway. Something can happen. Or also in school, you could have your iPod in your pocket. You could put your wired headphone through your sweatshirt. Put your earbud on your ear and just have your hand on your ear like you're watching the teacher, but you're listening to music or listening to a video, for that matter, on the iPod video when they came out. And no one would ever know. And then when you're done, you could just take it out. Am I paying attention? No. Now, iPod had no internet, and I still wasn't paying attention with just music. You have all that. You touch your finger. Now you have everything. You can watch freaking porn in school now if you really wanted to. You don't have to be on the school Wi-Fi. You could just go on LTE, baby, 5G porn, and just watch it. Show your friend, yo, look at what is that from Forrest Gump? Look at the rack on that one, or whatever he said.
Oh, I asked it. I said, what are the? So here's the breakdown: 0 to 4 years old is less than 10% of all right. 5 to 8 is about 15%. Then from 9 to 12, so 9 to 12 is middle school, right?
Are they just getting into middle school?
Just getting like middle school, like 10 to 13, right? About 30 to 40%. 13 to 15, so now you're entering high school, 60 to 70%. Damn. And then it says 16 to 18-year-olds, 85 to 90%.
Yeah.
90%. So now let's look at what's the percentage? So what's the percentage of high schoolers? So it says approximately 85 to 90% of high school students in the U.S. own a cell phone.
How much was that?
85 to 90%. So you go into a high school, 90% of the kids own a cell phone.
100 kids in high school, 90% of them have a cell phone.
So now think about that. That means if you have a class of 20 kids, 18 of them have cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're in like I'm arguing that, and that's probably skewed because there might be some underprivileged areas that don't have cell phones, right? Can't afford a cell phone. But if you're in like any affluent area, all of them, every single one of them's gonna have a school.
Or I would think even like rural areas where it's like
maybe rural
like
areas,
Iowa, right? It's like they
don't have one.
A town of like 50, 100 people, and you just go to school and you walk to school, and it's like I don't need a cell phone because here's my community right here.
But if you go to any normal high school,
would make a kid,
all the kids have it. So it's like every single. Can you imagine being a teacher now?
I would only think the
every
reason why
single kid has a cell phone. You try to keep their attention.
I think of it. The only reason why I don't think you would have a cell phone is just because you can't afford it. That's like what other reason would I guess unless you truly believe your kid in high school doesn't need a cell phone, which I think in high school that's when you should have it.
I would say high school, right? Because I don't think elementary school you need it. You don't need it.
No, elementary school, no. Middle school, you start playing sports after school hours. All right, maybe I could see that. But yeah, elementary and below, there's no need. No need.
There's no need for a cell phone.
Yeah.
You can have it, but you're not allowed to use it.
No, you can have it, but then you just have a bunch of restrictions on your phone.
Like you can't use it in school. You're in school, you shouldn't be on your phone. You should be paying attention. You should be paying attention.
I agree. I mean, put it this way, right? In college, I had iPhones, and I think I told a story before. Once I was in a math class in college, and I didn't know the questions to the answers to the questions. The questions to the answers. I had the answers, didn't know what they were going to ask me. I had the answers, didn't know what the question was. I just knew the answers off the bat. But yeah, I would text my cousin's husband, who was an engineer and smart in math, and I said, "Hey, I need help with this for my math test." And he just sent me the answers. Did I learn anything? No. But did I pass? Yeah. Did it get me through the class? Yes. But did I really learn anything?
Cheater.
I am a cheater. I was a cheater. I got C's and some B's.
C's get degrees, man. C's get degrees.
But yeah, I mean, I can just totally see how it's a negative effect on kids learning, and also, like I said, social ability. I mean, like when you go in groups, right? You do group projects, you do group things in class. It's more neglected to be like, catch up with your group partners and just be on your phone and just like let the other person take care of the project, and you just be on your phone and just doing it and just don't care. You're not getting that exposure to whatever you're learning.
I do know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, man. I saw that and I'm like, this is just. I couldn't believe the backlash.
Well, I mean,
Like they're
you
saying.
look at it as a whole, right? I mean, it's just. I just watched this whole thing on Coco Lemon. Just watch this, the cartoon Coco Lemon, bro. I just watched like a video documentary thing. It was just like a video on YouTube about how Coco Lemon is for little like infants that are watching it, and they develop these disorders. Like it's like crack. They get addicted to it, and they compared them to other shows, and like the video is portraying how Coco Melon is created to get your kid hooked on watching. Constantly changing angles, constantly changing the screen, bright colors.
Just gonna say the bright colors
to get them involved, and then like when they're not watching it, they're like, just doing everyday life things. They're like bored, and they start crying, or they have like
that's a lot
withdrawals.
That's a lot of the. I'm glad you brought that up because that's a lot of the newer age cartoons are fast-paced, bright colors, constantly. What do they call that?
Vibrant.
No, it's
stimulating.
We've done it. Like when you're making a reel and you constantly like change the angles because you're breaking the pattern. It's like pattern breaking.
Yeah.
So instead of having the same camera
it's
angle,
like something new.
You constantly cutting, and they're doing that, and it's damaging the development of children.
It's like scrolling essentially because you're like, oh, what's new? What's next?
But they did another story where they showing kids some of the older stuff from like the 80s and the 90s where the colors aren't as bright. It's a little bit slower, and the kids will watch for a little bit, and then they don't want to watch. They're like, all right, now I'm going to do something else, and they're like, they're bored with the show.
And they
want to start doing other things.
The video did a comparison. It was like the average one scene on Coco Melon was like 6 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, switch, and then the show Bluey, I think it was called. It's like a dog or something. So Coco Lemon is 6 seconds average time, really vibrant, bright, stimulating colors. And then Bluey, it was like 20 seconds, but it's like dark blues, dark browns, like very monotone colors, not as stimulating. And it was more of a positive trend with like learning. At the end of the day, it goes back to the parents, I think. But there is a science to it because there would be all these comments like, I took the iPad away from my kid, and as soon as I took it away, he started crying. And if I don't show him Coco, he'll be crying, or he'll be bored of just like looking around. They're playing with the toys, and I'll put Coco Melon on. And he's just like in it, like watching it, like zoned in, zombied. And so that's what I was telling you. Like I'm home now. We watch HGTV or the Food Network because it's very unstimulating TV. Not that my kid watches TV, but I notice sometimes when I watch football. It's very green, very bright colors, and sometimes you see her just like staring at it, and I'm like, maybe you shouldn't watch this. Turn your head away this way.
So it's funny that you bring up the like being zoned in. I was just listening to Joe Rogan, and they were talking about. I don't know. I gotta see if I can find the study, but they were saying one of the guys that he had on there was talking about how people believe that the constant use of cell phones and the constant looking down into this small screen over time, and I'm talking like time, not like a couple of years, but over the course of like hundreds of years, would actually cause humans to lose their peripheral vision.
I'm trying to find that video.
Do you hear what I said?
Lose their peripheral vision.
So he was saying that researchers believe because that we're constantly on our phones now, right? And your peripheral vision is what you see. Like if I'm looking at you, it's what I can see left and right when I'm not actually focusing on it. They're saying that because the humans are so ingrained in their phones that over the course of time, tens and hundreds of years of constant phone usage, of narrow tunnel vision, only focusing on 6 inches in front of your face, that our vision is going to be shrunk. And we're going to lose peripheral vision.
I mean, it happens. It happens with me. It happens with you. I mean,
because you're so, and they're like, humans, like they call, like how humans like evolve over time, and like certain species like Okay, they go on to land like
you're talking about actually losing
I'm talking about
vision.
actually like your eyesight will be like
it's like
hundreds
shrinking.
of years from now, humans won't have
like I could see the door, I could see the wall,
right,
no
but
problem.
in like 200 years from now,
It's just like
humans or 300 years from now will
Watch
no
some
longer be able to do that. They'll be like this. They can't see it anymore because their eyes will have adapted to just looking here and focusing here and not focusing over here. And I'm like, I can kind of see that happening.
Well, I mean, it happens. I mean, like when you're walking and you're on your phone, you're not really seeing what's going on.
So they're saying because humans are not like just looking up and looking out and constant, there no longer is a need for peripheral vision, and they're going to like that's
interesting.
And I wonder how peripheral vision works. Like there's the pupils, right? There's basically holes in your face that allow light to come in, and I'm wondering if those holes will be restricted to no longer. So you'll have basically permanent blind spots here.
I'm trying to take a video, but
isn't that like crazy to think?
Like a wild cake.
Because it's like they say, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So they're saying over time, because we're no longer using our peripheral vision, that we're going to lose it.
I mean, I could see it happen.
It's the same thing, like if you.
I mean, it happens. It happens already. You're not losing your peripheral per se, but you're so honed in on your phone. You bump into people. You bump into poles. You don't see like, I'm sorry. Like even today, right? I was at the grocery store and I was shooting out an email because I wanted to get it out, and I don't like being on my phone when I'm out in public like that. And like even now, like I'm on my phone trying to take this video, but what was I fucking saying? I'm ringing up the groceries, beep, 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 and I'm shooting this email out, and then a person right here, something happened, like drops their shit, and another person like it comes up on the line, and like until I picked up my head and I actually said I apologize for being rude, and they're like, you're not being rude, and I was like, no, I don't need to be on my phone. I'm like, oh shit, this person just dropped their bag of apples, and this new person just came up behind me. Like if I had my head up looking at the clerk ringing up my shit, I would have seen both things. I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
It's fucking crazy when you think about like how damaging the cell phones really are. And then I always find it interesting how as adults we know 100% for a fact that constant cell phone usage is bad for your health. It's bad for your brain, the constant blue light, it's bad for your mental health. It's bad for your health. Like it's bad for your brain, your development of your brain, right? You can be addicted to it but then they give it to kids. And they put kids in front, put an iPad in front of them and right at freaking birth, shut them up, get them in so I can go do something. It's like that it's bad for them, yet you do it anyway.
It was fun. Literally last night, because I was talking to my wife about the Coco Melon thing, and she's like, no, it's definitely not. Like, and I was talking to my daughter. I'm like, when we go out to a restaurant, I'm not putting an iPad in front of you. If you're going to start crying, mom or dad is going to take you outside and hold you and make you feel better. Or if you're a little bit older and you're making a ruckus, I'm going to call the man out of the back so he can yell at you. I was like, whoa, that's scary. We don't call the man. I'm like, all right,
learn him young.
I'm going to call the big lady. She's going to come and yell at you. I'm like, you're going to draw on the placemat. You're going to play with cards. You're going to do something that's beneficial, creative.
We just mentioned that at the restaurant. Kelly and I went to a restaurant for our anniversary, and we just talked about it. I said, when our son's born, when he comes to restaurants, there's no iPads. Okay, when they're kids,
it just looks ridiculous.
It's like, what we got? I was like, first off, it looks ridiculous because you're using an iPad as a babysitter. Second of all, your kid is not going to learn how to contain himself at the dinner table.
You're also not socializing or engaging with him.
He's not socializing. He's not looking around and learning
he could be sitting
things.
Right here, and we're just like, me and you
know what we got? Get a box of crayons and start drawing. I got a placemat, and I would draw on a thing, and then...
Oh, I would play tic-tac-toe with my dad.
Yeah, and I'll draw with you. I'll draw some stuff, but like, you use your brain. Be creative. Don't just stand there and look at moving pictures all day long.
I agree, brother.
And it's. I feel like it's a detriment to the kid's development. Because the kid needs... When he sits there, or she... sits there with you and you're having a conversation and the kid's maybe he's not speaking yet, but he's there, he's learning, he's listening, he's watching mom and dad talking back and forth, and we talk to the kid and then eventually he starts talking and he starts engaging, and you look at some of the kids that don't have the iPad usage or the iPhone or any sort of electronics, look at their development and how quickly they learn to speak and how they form sentences. And then you look at some of these kids and they're like 5, 6 years old and they're having full form sentences to you, and they don't have any of that stuff. And they don't want any of it because they're not addicted to it. But then you look at the kids that are on the iPhone, on the iPad all day long, and you're like, why? I don't understand. My kid's 2.5 years old. He doesn't speak yet. Well, maybe because he doesn't have to speak because you're not engaging with him. You're putting a freaking phone in front of his face all the time. He doesn't have to learn to speak.
There's a crazy video out there. I think we might have mentioned it. I definitely told you about it. But there's a kid who just was always constantly on an iPad, and then the parents gave them a newspaper, and they tried to scroll on the newspaper like, why isn't this moving? Why isn't this going? And it's like, that's just an example of like how zombified your kid can be when they're just stimulated from a freaking iPad.
It's overstimulation.
All day. Luckily,
they're not stimulated by the good things, right? Like you want to stimulate them. You want to stimulate their brain in a good way, right? Like when you're drawing stuff on the thing, or you're playing games with them, or you have like that, put the shapes in and you're stimulating their brain to grow and to learn in a positive way, as opposed to stimulating them with moving pictures and bright colors.
And even if you wanted to give them the iPad to watch a show or whatever, a Cocoa Mount, designated 30 minutes. All right, 30-minute iPad time. Here you go. Boom, 30 minutes of your time. Here you go. This is what you can do to watch. And then after that, boom, you're done.
And I would monitor what they're watching.
Of course.
I'd be like, listen, no.
We're watching, like you said.
Watch the old stuff. Watch like Rocket Power.
Yeah.
If you look back, they're all like dull colors, but I'm like, watch this. Or you want to watch some educational stuff.
Watch Cat Dog.
You're going to watch some educational stuff, okay? We're going to watch a video on your
Bill
ABCs.
Nye the Science Guy.
Okay? We're going to put a video on. This is what you're going to watch. It's going to be a video on ABCs.
Yeah.
Video on different animals. Put on like Animal Planet. Put on Blue Planet and have them watch all the animals.
Discovery Kids.
Like, watch that stuff. But then some of the other stuff now, it's like if you've looked into it, some of the subliminal messages that are in some of these videos, it's like, I'm like, how is this even allowed to be for kids?
I'll just go back to the old stuff. Just watch the old stuff that we grew up on. Luckily, my wife's a speech language pathologist, so she knows a lot about this shit. Because if she wasn't, I don't know if I would know any about it, because she's been talking to me about this for years. So I feel like I'm a little aware of what's good.
You got to be aware of it.
What's good and what's not good, because she's been around kids like that all the time. So
she could probably see it. Like,
oh yeah, she sees it firsthand.
Because
like I'm telling you, we were like when she first came home, I had the TV like before we even got home. She's like, Eric, we're not putting the TV on. If we're putting the TV on, it's going to be HGTV or the Food Network. I'm like, why? I'm like, we just put the TV on. She's like, it's non-stimulating. It's just background noise. It's like it's blah. It's like just there. It's not. Yeah. You're not like glued to the TV. Like I said, I watch football, and you could see. I don't think she really knows what's going on. Obviously, she doesn't know what's going on. I don't think it's a true effect. But like, if I'm watching football and it's a pan out of the whole football field or the whole stadium and it's all these colors, I know she'd be like, "Oh, look at that," and I'm like, "No, get away! Don't look at.
Yeah,
look away from the light. Look away."
That's why we're gonna watch hockey.
Yeah,
it's just white. It's just white with a black. Like, just watch hockey.
That's it, bro.
But no, it's there's a family that we've met. I'm not going to say their name, just for privacy reasons, but the family that we met, they homeschool their kids. And we met them down on a vacation. They came to our wedding. You had met them. And
oh yeah,
they have,
Alabama.
Yes, they have 3 children homeschooled. Okay, and they're firm believers in like there's no television, there's no iPhone, right? Christian family, homeschooled kids. And when we first met their kids, you can instantly I'm like, how old are you? Like the young boy came up to me, shook my hand, and he was like, "Hi, Mr. Heisig. My name is so and so. Thank you so much for having us at your wedding. I'm having a great time. I appreciate the invite."
How old was he?
How old are you? He was 10.
Damn.
10 years old.
Gentleman.
Right? 10 years old. And the lady the little girl gave me a curtsy. She like, very nice. I'm like, I was like, how? I was blown away. I was blown away.
And
then I was like, "What?" She goes, "We homeschool
that down south living, boy.
It's like we homeschool our kids. There's no technology. We homeschool them. We have certain here's a certain allotted time for schoolwork, a lot of time for outdoor activities, a allotted time for the home ec stuff. Right? Learn how to cook, learn how to do some farm work, whatever. And it was all homeschooled. And these kids were like way beyond the level that the average kid at that age should be.
At the end of the day, I just think it goes back to parents being
parenting.
lame.
It's the parenting.
It's not the kids.
Don't be lazy.
It's just a lazy parenting.
Be a parent. Be a good parent. You're supposed to be their parent. Okay.
So if there's anyone watching and listening, and you feel like you're falling into that category, it's never too late. Never too late to change. Let's just be unlazy parents. Let's do better for our children. How about that? Huh?
Be better.
Be better.
Be better than the gap.
Be better and do better.
Be better than the gap.
Be better than the average.
Do you know what that's from? Be better than the gap.
I thought we were just trying to go back and forth.
That's from Crazy Stupid Love when he's like, where'd you get those jeans? He's like, those are mom jeans. He goes, you wear mom jeans. You want to have a mom butt? He's like, these are from the Gap. He goes, oh, they're from the Gap? He goes, you have to be better than the Gap. Be better than the Gap. And then he looks, he's like, what kind of shoes are those? He's like, oh, what's on your feet? Oh, these are my New Balance. Oh, they're New Balance? Yeah, these are my NS47s. Oh, can I see those? And he takes them off and he hands them to me. He's like, yeah, they give me great comfort. Great. He takes them, he throws them off the balcony. He goes, don't ever wear New Balance sneakers in front of me ever again.
What movie is this?
This is Crazy Stupid Love. He's like trying to help him rediscover his manhood, and he's like, don't ever wear New Balance. He's just like, and then guy says, he says something. He goes, I got those from the Gap. And he just like walks away. Just walks away, and the guy's like, the fuck. And he comes back. He says, be better than the Gap. Be better than the Gap. And then just walks off, and the guy's got no shoes. He's like,
what the fuck did this guy say to me?
It's a funny movie.
Well, we're gonna leave off with that. Be better than the Gap. Be better than the lazy parent out there.
Be a better parent.
Speaking of parents, I gotta go home and be a parent, so we have to cut this episode. Where are we at? 30 minutes?
Yeah, so that's going to do it for us.
Perfect.
Here. If you like this episode, again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. Check out the website, okay, it's burnoutpodcast.com. You know the drill. Become a member. It's $5 a month. And that's it. That's it.
And if anyone is in the Westchester area, November 1st,
yes,
we will be doing a cigar night, promotion night of the Blueprint and the Diligent at the People's Cigar in Elmsford. Shout out to the People's Cigar in Elmsford, New York.
Shout out.
So if you're in the Westchester area or in the nearby surrounding area, come by, show support, come see your boys. Let's hang out. Let's have a cigar. We'll see you there. Until then, cheers, chin chin, salute. I'm Eric. That's Justin. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.